What keeps things interesting? This gun in my hand. This is how it ends. Not in a firefight, not an explosion or a knife in the ribs. Shackled to a stone wall. An actual dungeon with ichor dripping from the walls. Is it ichor or ichor?
The blood of the Greek gods was called ichor, but that's not what's dripping from the walls, Falk.
They ought to hire someone from the Cappadocia crime family to install a basement waterproofing system. I suppose this is the kind of filthy atmosphere killers and criminals want for their victims. Seeping walls made of huge stones, a narrow doorway blocked by rusty bars, and I can't remember how I got here.
So you'll be doing all the narration today? Another episode where I'm totally left out.
Sorry, Bill. There's not much else for me to do in here.
Not only do you take my job as narrator on your last episode ever, but this is how you break the news to me that I'm laid off?
What do you mean? This isn't the last episode ever.
You said this is how it ends.
Oh, I meant season 7. This is the season finale.
All right, I'll leave you to it.
No, you don't have to go. I've been here alone for hours talking to myself. Bill, are you still there? Hey, Bill.
What? I'm trying to get some work done here.
I thought narration was your job. Are you moonlighting?
Yes, there's no law against that. I'm working on my novel.
Oh.
But don't worry, it's not going anywhere. I can't even get published in Argosy.
Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. Look at me, my job is fighting crime and nobody pays me for it.
At least you have a radio show.
Yeah, with tens of listeners. Don't kid yourself. They're just killing time until Kay Kaiser's College of Musical Knowledge comes on.
I love Ishkabibble.
The point is, I'm not doing it for the money and I'm not doing it for fame. I do it because fighting crime is what I love. It's what I have to do. If that's how you feel about writing your novel...
You're right. I'm not going to let a little thing like rejection stop me. Hey, if you've got nothing better to do, maybe I can read you some of it.
Yeah, okay. I'm just sitting here waiting for some villain to open the door to my cell and tell me I'm gonna die.
Here goes. The Cinched Girth of Cahelet's Padamenon by William Narrator Sr. Book 1 of the Chronicles of Gasparinac Tarfigio of Yanis. Prologue. Call me Cahelet's Padamenon. I'm not sure about that first line. It sounds a little stilted. I think it'd be a little more conversational if it was just Cahelet's Padamenon here, but I keep going back and forth.
Oh boy. You know, Bill, I think I'll let you get back to work on that. I'll take another pass around the cell, see if any of the iron bars in that door are weak, or if I could scrape the mortar out in between these rocks and dig my way out.
Oh, okay. It's still in progress, you know. It really picks up around chapter 14.
Huh. Yeah.
Of book 7.
Wow. Don't get maudlin, Falk. Keep things upbeat. The bars are just as solid as last time I checked. No loose rocks in the walls. No crumbling mortar. Maybe I could pick away at it if I had something to stick in there. Whoever chained me here didn't even leave a bucket for the reason you leave buckets in dungeon cells. Maybe that means they don't plan to keep me here long enough to need it. Or they don't care what happens when I can't hold it anymore. The fiend, or fiends. At least they left enough slack in the chain that I can move around a little. Say, I could use the links of the chain to scrape at the walls. Oh, what's the use? I should save my strength for when they inevitably come back to reveal their plan and gloat over it. I might find a chance to fight them and get the keys. Who could have done this to me? The last thing I remember before being here was the leaves changing colors in Gristle Park. I don't remember being on the trail of any particular suspects.
Falk, we could kill some time with a commercial if you want.
Please, yes, let me stop talking.
This gun in my hand is brought to you by the Prophetic Journals Full of Clues Corporation. Do you have a problem with ragged undead sailors lurching out of the fog, disrupting the centennial celebration of your seaside village by cutting down the townsfolk? What you need is a prophetic journal full of clues to fall out of a wall in the back room of the church. It's just the thing for finding out why your town is being haunted and how to stop them. Is your burgeoning ghost eradication business overwhelmed by an escalating wave of spirits attacking a major metropolis? You might have a Mesopotamian, Sumerian, or Hittite deity gathering its forces to break through into your world. But how will you know without looking them up in a guidebook from prophetic journals full of clues? Yes, almost any natural or supernatural adventure can be nudged along its way by a prophetic journal full of clues. When you stumble on an unmanned ship or a ghost town that was suddenly and mysteriously deserted, you'll want one of our apocalyptic logs. A written account by the last survivor of the calamity, spelling out what happened so you don't have to search for other clues. Your investigation can start and end within these pages. As always, we remind you to make sure your time machine already exists and works if you're attempting to travel through time. Don't write a journal with instructions for how to make a time machine and send it back in time for your younger, ignorant self to construct it. We don't mind the paradox, it's just not the done thing. Let Prophetic Journals Full of Clues Corporation be your one-stop shop for getting out of tough spots.
Okay, that killed a minute or two. The schmuck who captured me is bound to saunter up to the door of the cell and explain himself. Any minute now. I mean, we can't end the episode and the season with me sitting here alone, not accomplishing anything. Talking to myself. Not a satisfying ending. Somebody's bound to come along. Eventually. This is so boring with just me talking.
If you'd let me do my job, then I could set the scene and you'd have at least one different voice in this episode.
Your voice isn't very different. Wait, we're recording still, right? I could modify the recorder so it could broadcast. Then I could radio for help.
Sorry, Falk. The recorder is on the other side of the bars. Whoever locked you in here left it recording, but kept it out of your reach.
Blast! Okay, I have a better idea. You don't have to narrate only what's happening here. If something important happens on the other side of town or the other side of the world, you can just say, "Meanwhile, across town," right?
Sure, but nothing important for you is happening anywhere else.
How about, "Meanwhile, Castro, faithful Filipino valet of the Emerald Ash Borer, here's the voice of the narrator conveying a message from Falk Zildjian."
I can't. That would be cheating.
You're gonna let me die down here because using your power would be cheating?
I can't do it. Plus, Castro wouldn't hear me, just the radio listeners, after we retrieve that recording and your desiccated corpse.
Can you at least look around down that hallway and narrate where I am? Am I underground or in a secret hideout? That might give me clues about who I'm up against or how to get out.
It's better if we keep it limited to your perspective. If I narrated lots of other people's perspectives, it would become an ensemble piece. Is that what you want?
I guess if I had to choose between starving to death in a dungeon and being part of an ensemble, I'd choose starving.
You won't starve, Falk. Dehydration would get you first.
I can just lick the seeping walls. Also better than being part of an ensemble.
There is another way we can make time pass quickly.
Commercial number 2?
As a last resort, yes, but I was thinking I could just narrate 6 hours later.
Oh, yeah, let's try that.
Six hours later.
Where have you been? I thought you said time would pass more quickly.
It did.
Maybe for you and the listeners, I experienced every empty second of it.
Sorry. You want commercial number 2 now?
Please.
This gun in my hand is still brought to you by the Prophetic Journals Full of Clues Corporation. Has something wicked come your way in the form of a demonic traveling carnival fulfilling the wishes of the desperate townsfolk but with devious strings attached? Check the local history section of your library for a prophetic journal full of clues. You know, not all of our publications are used to explain backstory. We also have vital plot-triggering books. How will you get past all the obstacles in your search for the Holy Grail? How would you even suspect it's a real object and not a myth without your father's detailed notebook? Or let's say you and your young twin sister have been sent to spend the summer with your shady great-uncle in a small Oregon town where strange things lurk in the woods. Your summer adventures can hardly begin without information from the mysterious journal you find hidden in a tree. No matter how boring or mundane your current circumstances, you can start an adventure today with a plot-triggering book. Let Prophetic Journals Full of Clues Corporation be your one-stop shop for getting out of tough spots. Some restrictions apply, not available in protectorates of the United States such as Hawaii, the Commonwealth of the Philippines, Puerto Rico, the Panama Canal Zone, nor Antarctica, nor subterranean civilizations.
I'm picking up a kind of subtext from those commercials. Are you trying to tell me a journal is going to fall out of the wall with information about how I can escape, or who's holding me here?
No. Sorry, Falk. There's not enough fog in here for that.
So I just sit here and wait.
You mind if I get back to CGKP?
What's that?
The Cinched Girth of Cahelot's Padamanon, Book 1 of the Chronicles of...
Sure. I still can't imagine we'd end an episode without resolving this. What kind of cliffhanger is that for a season finale? Unless spikes come out of the walls and the walls start closing in on me, or water starts flooding my cell. Geez, forget I said that. I don't want to give anybody ideas. No, this is all predictable. I bet that villain is going to walk in here in 3, 2, 1, go. Here he comes. Right up the hallway. I can almost hear the footsteps if I strain my ears. Here he comes. He's waiting just out of range because I'm not saying it right, and he's really a she. Here she comes. Here they come. Here shambling mutant fungus comes. Something mutant this way comes. Hello? Hello? Is anybody in here? Is this somebody's idea of suspense? It's not working. Oh, fine. If that's the way you want to play it, I guess we'll resolve it in the next episode. Won't we? Please? Dungeon of Suspense, episode 91 of This Gun in My Hand, was built by Rob Northrup. This episode and all others are available on YouTube with automatically generated closed captions of dialogue. Visit thisguninmyhand.blogspot.com for credits, show notes, information on how to subscribe, archives, and to buy my books such as Little Heist in the Big Woods and other revisionist atrocities. Who's the companion that never leaves me alone in a prison cell? This gun in my hand.